Hello and welcome to my channel. Today I am doing a marbled cat tea light holder. I am going to be using Eye Candy's mint green mica powder. Very pretty. I got the mold from Resin mold box subscription, and I think it was November's box that it came in. I don't remember. I know I just didn't get to doing it yet. And my daughter likes cats and her favorite color is green, so this is going to be for her. I think 3 scoops should be good for mica powder. I will give it a stir and I will check to make sure I cannot see my stick through the resin. I don't want it to be transparent, so I'm going to stir it up, scrape the sides, scrape the bottom, make sure everything is stirred up good. And I think that was good, so I'm going to add some crushed crystal, give it a little bit of shimmer and shine in there. Not too much, just a little bit. And that should be plenty as it floats and flies through the air. I have glitter everywhere. I'm not complaining though. All right, I'm going to stir that in. And once I'm done stirring that in, I am going to get my white stirred up. I will be using Eye Candy's white pigment paste. And I will put a little bit in there. Stir that up good, and then I'm going to put them both through my debubbler and try to get rid of any bubbles that I've whipped into there when stirring. And if you don't have a debubbling machine, it's okay. You can just set your resin aside for a few minutes and let it degas naturally. You don't have to go out and spend money on a debubbler. I don't even have a good one. I just have a cheap one. So it works though. Get my white all stirred in there. And then I will put it in my debubbler and be back to pour. All right, I have run that for 5 minutes. Got the bubbles out. And now we are ready to pour. Look at this mold, it's so cute. I am going to grab my isopropyl alcohol and I'm going to give it a spray inside that mold, and then I'm going to take my fingers and go around into those itty bitty parts, try to get those ears, make sure those are good and saturated with the alcohol so I can avoid bubbles in there. And I get the tip of the tail as well. Those to me stuck out as maybe the problem points. And now it's time to pour. This is pretty straightforward. I'm only using 2 colors, so I will do green, white, and so on. I am hoping for some good variation once they start to blend as well. I'm just alternating back and forth, watching the blend already happen, transforming its color. That's so pretty. I am going to give those ears some squishing just to make sure there's no bubbles down in there. I didn't see anything come up, so we will continue pouring. I do want to try to get some white into the ears, white into the tip of the tail, and try to get some white into the paws themselves. With any luck, I'll be able to pull this off. Now I'm pouring it really thin lines of resin here and there, back and forth. I try to do it this way to get more flow and movement and variation in the resin. I mean, it's going to do what it wants to do anyway, but why not give it a little bit of help instead of having, you know, a blob of color here, a blob of color there. Let it mix up. Of course, I say that about not doing blobs of color as I'm about to do blobs of color. I take my white to try to get the tip of the tail, the little paws, and the ears. So there's that. I made up 6 ounces because I couldn't find the paper that told me how much this mold held. So I made up 6 ounces thinking it won't hold that much. I'll have some left over to be able to add into a little something else. But it took almost all of it. I really just was able to scrape my cup for a little bit of leftover green and the tiniest amount of white. So 6 ounces would do it. I was just checking from the side to see if I had a good enough dome on it. So I'm going to scrape just a little bit more out of there and try to get a dome on there. And I'm going to take my white as well and just put a little bit of white into the tip of the tail in the paws at this point. As you can see, there really isn't much of anything left in there. So I'm going to put it into the paws and into the tip of his tail and hope it shows up. Look at that blend. Love it. All right, let's get to the demolding part. I am going to work my way around. Has a little bit of overage at the tail, the tip of the tail where I spilled it a little bit trying to get white into it. The little paws had a little bit of crust on them. No big deal. I'm just going to work my way around the edge and peel it back. It was really easy to get out, so no struggle here. Flip it upside down and just ease it over the back. I'm going to try to ease it over those ears so I don't break off an ear. That would be a disaster. Go gentle. There. That was easy. Turn my mold the right side out. And look at this beauty. Okay, I got one ear that did white. The tip of the tail is white. The marbling is perfection. Not too much green, not too much white. Evenly dispersed. I can see the crushed crystal in there. It's so pretty. I think she's gonna like it. She's very picky, but I think she's gonna like it. There's white on both paws. Gotta trim just a little bit. I like it. I like it a lot. All right, I'm going to get you some final pictures, but let me know what you think. And thanks for watching.